Notes of judgment pepper the psalter. But Psalm 109 holds the note of cursing longer than any other psalm. David drops 15 consecutive verses of curses against the wicked in verses 6 through 20. And the curses are intense. Against the wicked man, David prays for legal trouble in verses 6 and 7, for bankruptcy, verse 11, and death, verse 8. He then turns on his family. May his orphaned children be hungry beggars, verse 10, without benefactors, verse 12, and without descendants, verse 13. He even prays a curse against the man's ancestors in verses 14 and 15. The final imprecatory psalm in the Psalter is strong and fierce. But we should not be embarrassed about it. In fact, we should love Psalm 109. Now, there is a wrong way to love Psalm 109. It would be wrong to gloat over the troubles of the wicked. And it would be wrong to adopt David's outburst as our standard operating procedure. Understand what's happening here. Cursing wasn't David's normal way. He wasn't a vengeful person. But in the matter at hand, he was convinced of his righteousness. His enemies returned evil for his good, hatred for his love, verse 5 says. They attacked him without cause, he says in verse 3. But instead of seeking personal vengeance, he's praying for God to do what God does: punish evil. David prays that the wicked would get a strong taste of their own medicine, verses 16 through 20, wrapped in their own shame as in a cloak, verse 29. So there's a wrong way to love Psalm 109, but there is a right way to love Psalm 109. God's children should love that they are not helpless against their enemies. Alone, yes, we are helpless. David was poor, needy, and heart-stricken, he says in verse 22. He felt as weak as a bug, he says in verse 23. And everyone knew it, verse 25. But David had a helper. He knew that the God who loved him would save him. David believed that God can out-bless his enemies' curses. Men condemned David, God would honor him, verse 31. So it is possible to love your enemies, to do good to those who hate you, and pray that God would have his way with them. Jesus did that. Jesus prayed for those who persecuted him and prophesied the curses that would fall on the reprobate Judas. We can compare Psalm 109, verse 8 with Acts 1, verse 20. The disciples understood this psalm to be, at least in part, against Judas. In fact, through Judas's terrible sin, against which Jesus prays here, Jesus brings salvation to all who follow David and trust in his Lord. So let's listen to this hard psalm, understanding the wrong and right ways to love it and to even live it. To the choir master, a psalm of David. Be not silent, O God of my praise, for wicked and deceitful mouths are opened against me, speaking against me with lying tongues. They encircle me with words of hate. They attack me without cause. In return for my love, they accuse me, but I give myself to prayer. So they reward me evil for good, then hatred for my love. Appoint a wicked man against him. Let an accuser stand at his right hand. When he is tried, let him come forth guilty. Let his prayer be counted as sin. May his days be few. May another take his office. May his children be fatherless and his wife a widow. May his children wander about and beg, seeking food far from the ruins they inhabit. May a creditor seize all that he has. May strangers plunder the fruits of his toil. Let there be none to extend kindness to him, nor any to pity his fatherless children. May his posterity be cut off. May his name be blotted out in the second generation. May the iniquity of his fathers be remembered before the Lord, and let not the sin of his mother be blotted out. Let them be before the Lord continually, that he may cut off the memory of them from the earth. For he did not remember to show kindness, but pursued the poor and needy and the brokenhearted to put them to death. He loved to curse. Let curses come upon him. He did not delight in blessing. May it be far from him. He clothed himself with cursing as his coat. May it soak into his body like water, like oil into his bones. May it be like a garment that he wraps around him, like a belt that he puts on every day. May this be the reward of my accusers from the Lord, of those who speak evil against my life. But you, O God, my Lord, deal on my behalf for your name's sake. Because your steadfast love is good, deliver me, for I am poor and needy, and my heart is stricken within me. I am gone like a shadow at evening. I'm shaken off like a locust. My knees are weak through fasting. My body has become gaunt with no fat. I'm the object of scorn to my accusers. When they see me, they wag their heads. Help me, O Lord my God. Save me according to your steadfast love. Let them know that this is your hand. You, O Lord, have done it. Let them curse, but you will bless. They arise and are put to shame, but your servant will be glad. May my accusers be clothed with dishonor. May they be wrapped in their own shame as in a cloak. With my mouth I will give great thanks to the Lord. I will praise him in the midst of the throng, for he stands at the right hand of the needy one, to save him from those who condemn his soul to death.